I get it. You scroll through endless listings of restaurant-grade ice cream makers. Every photo shows a perfect swirl. Every headline promises endless flavors. And then you finally order one only to find it's a nightmare to clean. It freezes up, or it can't keep up with a rush of customers. That hesitation is real, and the last thing you need is to waste money on a machine that looks great on paper but falls apart in a busy shop. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So today I'm pulling back the curtain on the VEVOR commercial soft serve unit, the kind of machine you'd see behind a counter at a snack dessert shop, and I'll walk through exactly what it delivers, where it trips up, and who should actually consider putting it on their floor. First off, let's talk about the environment this machine is built for. VEVOR markets it as a countertop, 3-flavor soft serve maker with 2 6-liter hoppers and a built-in puffing pump. In practice, that means you can run 2 distinct mix recipes side by side. Think classic vanilla and a seasonal fruit swirl, while the puffing pump adds that light, airy texture you see in frozen yogurt or novelty treats. The pre-cooling fresh keeping feature is meant to keep the mix at a stable temperature before it even hits the freezing cylinder, which can be a lifesaver during a slow morning when you're not churning nonstop, but still need the product ready for that first rush. If you run a small-scale operation like a coffee shop that wants to add a soft-serve line, a pop-up dessert stall, or a school cafeteria looking to offer a healthier frozen snack, this machine hits a sweet spot. The 2028 L per hour output translates to roughly 2 to 3 servings a minute, so you're not drowning in product, but you're also not turning away customers because the line backs up. The 2200W motor is strong enough to bring the mix down to the right consistency quickly, which helps keep serving times under 30 seconds per cone, a metric that matters when you have a line of teenagers or a brunch crowd. Now, let's get into the practical strengths you'll notice day to day. The first is the dual hopper design. Because each hopper can hold 6 liters, you can prep a batch of vanilla in the morning, a batch of chocolate in the afternoon, and still have room for a third limited edition flavor without having to stop and swap containers. That flexibility is a real time saver compared to single hopper models that force you to clean and reload after every flavor change. Secondly, the built-in puffing pump actually does what it says on the tin. It injects air in a controlled manner, giving the final product that light, melt-in-your-mouth feel without you having to manually beat the mix. I've seen a few countertop units try to mimic that effect with a simple agitator, and the texture ends up dense. VEVOR's approach, while not a full-scale aeration system like a high-volume soft-serve line, is enough to differentiate a standard soft-serve from a more premium mouthfeel. Another real-world advantage is the low mix alert. In a busy setting, it's easy to forget that the cylinder needs a fresh load of mix after a certain volume. The alert gives you a visual cue before the machine starts to underperform, which prevents you from serving a gritty, over-frozen product that can turn customers off. The alert is subtle, just a small LED indicator, but it's reliable enough that you won't need to constantly watch the gauge. On the flip side, there are a few trade-offs you need to weigh before you click Add to Cart. First, the countertop footprint, while modest compared to floor-standing commercial machines, still requires about 3,020 inches of clear space plus clearance behind for the hose and power cord. If your prep area is cramped, you'll need to rearrange a few things just to fit it. Second, the machine does need a dedicated 220V outlet. The 2200W draw isn't something you can plug into a standard 110V kitchen outlet without an adapter, which means some small businesses may have to upgrade their electrical panel, an extra cost you hadn't budgeted for. Third, while the pre-cooling feature sounds high-tech, it does add a warm-up period of about 5 minutes before the first serving comes out. That's fine if you're opening early and can pre-chill your mix, but if you're doing a spontaneous pop-up, you'll have to factor that delay into your service timeline. Cleaning is another area where the practical reality shows up. The 2 hoppers detach for cleaning, which is great, but the internal freezing cylinder still requires a thorough rinse after each flavor change to avoid cross-contamination. The machine's design doesn't have a self-cleaning cycle, so you'll be spending a few minutes with a brush and warm water after each shift. For a shop that rotates 3 flavors daily, that's manageable. For a high-turnover operation that switches flavors every hour, the cleaning routine could become a bottleneck. Who should buy this? If you're a small to medium food service operation that wants to add a soft serve offering without committing to a floor-standing, high-capacity line,